Hi there. Come on in. I'm Fred Trost, and like most of you anglers, I'm putting my fishing tackle away for the season. Now, I shouldn't, and you shouldn't either. I mean, look at the rivers in the fall, the lakes, the streams. They are beautiful. But these fall colors seem to put Michigan sportsmen more in the mood for hunting than they do for fishing. But the fish are out there. More fish are caught per angling hour in the fall than any other time of the year, maybe except for the early spring. But we're going to have a fall fishing forecast, so stay tuned. It's Thursday night, time for Michigan Outdoors.
From the wind might whisper through the trees, listen if you can, it tells you of the beauty in this state of Michigan.
There it is, Bob, the night crawler, the worm.
And it catches perhaps America's favorite fish, too.
That's right, panfish, bluegill, crappie. Of course, a lot of crappie are caught on minnows, pumpkin seeds, but a lot of the fish hit on worms in the spring and the summer, and that's when most of the bait is sold. But believe it or not, after Labor Day, what happens to the bait business, Bob? What did Wayne Magdalena
tells me it falls off to absolutely nothing after Labor Day.
The way this little pumpkin seed here is grabbing those worms we're tossing in the water is the same way they grab them in the fall. This was in the spring when they're on their beds, but in the fall something happens in the water that is much different than the spring and summer. What happens is the plankton production goes down, the crustacean production goes down. There's not as many little crawdads, not as many insects in the water, not as many small fish in the water because they've been eaten, and there's no more spawning going on. So fish like the bluegill, in fact all species of fish, find less food in September, October, and November than they did earlier in the year. But they're just as comfortable with the water temperature, Bob.
Well, they're comfortable, and they eat heartily, they take a bait readily, and also you have to remember they've gone through a growing season, so they're just a little bit bigger.
They're bigger, they're hungrier, they're in shallow water where the water temperatures are getting cooler now, and they can be caught. That's the point of what we're doing right now, is trying to explain to you folks and show you how good the fishing is in the fall when the fishing pressure is nil. For example, perch.
Absolutely, the best time to fish them, I think, is in the fall.
No question. Look at the action we had in the summer 2 years ago. This is where the big ones come from. It does look good.
Yeah.
It does look good. It's a double header. Oh, and a nice one. And a nice one there. Look at that. Hey, that's great.
Good one.
Well, let's see where.
Good. That was great.
Doc, you were talking about moving someplace for bigger ones? Is there any...
I think we'll stay here, but there is some bigger on the other end of the island.
Bigger than this?
Right, right.
Well, maybe we should take a vote. Should we go to where there's bigger ones?
No. I think we
Well,
better stay here.
when Garner sees quantity going in the ice chest, he says, let's stay here.
Lay those babies up and get them fatter ready.
No, what do you think? Should we, what do you think, Robbie? Would you want to go where there's might be bigger ones?
Well, when you catch them every 3 seconds, I hate to move.
Geez, I'd sure like to get some bigger ones. What do we got going here, Dr. Ted? We have it. Well, no, these are decent size.
Well, these are nice.
Those are great.
These are nice.
Maybe when we get right down to the end of the minnows,
We'll move over.
we'll move over and try for bigger ones.
Yeah. There's bigger on the other end of the island on the rocks. There's more.
There are bigger ones at the other end of the island, maybe in the summer, but there are more big ones than this caught in the fall. 5 Master Angler Trophy jumbo perch were caught last September, Bob, which is more than in any other summer month by far.
And Fred, I hear scuttlebutt, and when we get around the state, I hear Charlevoix. There are some guys there that get buckets full of 3-pounders starting about the last part of October.
I think the few fishermen that are out in the fall are very quiet fishermen. They don't register their trophies, they don't talk about it. But, let's talk about salmon. Fall, salmon time, right? Look at the statistics from our trophy book. No Atlantic salmon last September and October, no coho, no splake, 1 pink salmon in September, 1 lake trout in October, 1 steelhead in October, 2 brook trout, and a couple Chinook salmon in the fall. That's all that were reported.
Just nothing much. Chinook action takes place in the rivers, but the steady eddy of the salmon for open water fishery has to be the coho through September and October.
Like we caught when we were fishing with Governor Milliken 2 years ago in the middle of September. Oh, that's it. That is a bigger one. Here he comes. Oh! Yeah, that's a little fatter than the last one.
Well, look at that, would you?
You're working your way up. We'll get you a master angler one here if it's the last thing we do.
That is a good size.
Well, you're 2/5 of the way to your limit.
Hey, fish out on the rock.
Another one. Okay, Governor. We got your third one coming up right here. Okay, a second one. We're going to try to get you a king salmon if we can, but this doesn't appear to be a king.
There's another net over there, Bill.
Another net?
This one's all right. Get that net over. Grab that
Okay,
other net over
Bill?
the side, Bill.
I just recovered from the last one, and here
Yeah?
we got another one.
Well, we have about 6 lines out, so... Okay.
This one
How's that one doing?
this is a good size one. There he is.
Yep, look at him flipping back there. That was Governor Milliken's first time salmon fishing. He caught a limit of coho. Boy, we wanted to get him a Chinook, but in September, the middle of September, the Chinook have already moved into the streams, evidently, and we just don't get the Master Angler trophies reported, but we do get salmon caught.
Oh, sure, we get an awful lot of salmon caught. That's an #1 time again for cohos.
And especially the cohos. But you know what? A lot of anglers along the west side of the state, old Manistee Lake and Muskegon Lake, you know what they're catching right now when they're trolling for salmon.
And those are the anglers that keep their mouths shut. Devoted anglers, but they're catching humongous walleyes.
Walleyes. Last year, September, 1 Master Angler walleye reported. October, 1 Master Angler walleye reported. That's the lowest of the year except for March when the season is closed. The lowest. But there's huge ones caught. Bob?
Well, Muskegon Lake.
Muskegon Lake, 2 weeks ago,
Mark Martin.
and Bob Garner. Look at this.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Okay, what do you want me to do here?
Just wait, just do it like you did before.
Okay.
This is a monster. This is a nice one here. Look at him out there. Look at him. Look at that. You better put that one on your wall, Bob.
Ooh, look.
I'll get him tired here.
Oh my gosh, she's got to go 8 pounds.
Okay, slide it, okay. Then put him right in. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll get him
jeez, oh. We haven't been on an hour.
Not even an hour. It's usually like this too.
Oh, jeez.
If I can hit the spots just like I was telling you right back
What do you
there.
think, 6.5?
Oh, he's an easy 6.
Is an easy 6?
Yeah. He's skinny. He's pushing 6, but he's a good fighter. That's what he was. He's
But good fighter, huge walleye. There's lots of them out there, Bob.
One after the other. Mark limited out that night, by the way. He got 5 walleyes, all between 5.5 and 7 pounds.
And what does Mark say about September for walleye fishing in Muskegon Lake?
It's better than August when we were there.
That's for sure. The hottest walleye fishing of the year, just about, except maybe for the spring. But I'm not so sure because there are so few anglers out. If there were as many anglers out in September and October as there were in the spring,
They might catch a few more in the spring, but in most parts of the state, the season isn't open until May 15th, so.
heck of a time to be fishing for walleye. Let's talk about bass, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass. We know that the spring is the time to get out there right after they've been on their beds. Take a look at some of the footage here that we got 2 years ago, opening day, when
Yeah.
it was, a typical October.
About a third day of the season, I guess that was, and it never got above 44 degrees.
It was miserable.
It was doggone miserable.
Sometimes it can be that way in October, but the fish you catch in October, the largemouth bass particularly, we get, looking at our Master Angler data, 37 wall hangers last year that qualified over 6 pounds. 8 of them were in September, 2 in October. Over 25% of the Master Angler bass were taken in the fall. That's an impressive statistic, figuring that there are far fewer anglers out there fishing for bass in the fall.
Your chance to take a Master Angler bass has to be astronomical compared to any other time in the fall.
Smallmouth is down in the fall, but they just don't get as much attention anyway. But I imagine the fishing is good for the anglers who go after them. But look at that stringer of early spring bass with a pike thrown in. By the way, that pike fishing and muskie fishing is great in the fall too. You know, looking at the trophy book, pike, muskie fishing is great in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Probably it's as good as any other month of the year on the average, and there's so few anglers out there. It's hot fishing. What happened to steelhead, though, Bob? One steelhead last fall, one steelhead.
That's a surprise. Apparently those fall runners are just smaller fish, but they do fight.
They do fight, and here's some action in October with Emil Dean on the St. Joe. Hey, give me that net. Spunky, well, look at him. Oh, he's taking a... Whoa! This is all right.
It feels good, eh, friend?
It sure does. You know, I didn't feel like he was...
What took you so long this time?
Well, it was, we were having fun, good conversation. Oh, there he goes. Oh, I like that.
That's a good eater size right there.
It's amazing how they are in October. How much vitality they have.
I see that water just 51 degrees now.
51? Whoa! See if I can hold the microphone here while I'm fighting the fish. Oh, it is. Can you imagine one that's 14 pounds?
Yeah, how about that, eh?
Well, when you want to net him.
Anytime.
Okay, here we go. All right.
There he is.
Oh, that's super.
Nice going,
You know,
Freddie.
yeah, there's lunch.
Oh, my
Uh-oh.
I took a hole in the
You
net.
have a hole in the net here, Raymond.
How about that?
Well, a small fish like that can slip through the hole in the net, Bob. But it's amazing how the fish fight in the fall. You will never find fish at any other time of the year, any species, that fights as much as they do in the fall.
Oh, they're really enjoyable. Fall fishing's great.
Bob, we got to spend September and October fishing.
Wrong. I'm going hunting.
So am I. But if some of you would like to go fishing, we're going to squeak a little bit in. Here's some tips for this weekend. When should you fish this weekend? My preference would be to go by the Salooner tables, computed by John Alden Knight, the effect of the sun and the moon and the tides, 5 to 8 a.m., 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. approximately. Ideal for fishing. Early morning, early evening, you can't beat it. You might catch one that lands you a featured spot in our trophy book. The first page on this week's trophy book has a whopper that was taken a year ago this week. Shows they can be caught. A 25-pound northern pike from an upper peninsula lake in Houghton County. Bob Gilrath from Lake Linden's the angler. Bigger ones than this are out there, more than the 46 inches of this pike, and they're hungry in September. Here's a fish you could use for pike bait. Now hold it. Maybe we ought to fillet this one instead. A delectable perch caught during one of those hot times in Lake Gogebic I told you about this summer. David Pierce from Woodstock, Illinois came up and caught it. 14.5-inch, 1 3/4 pound whopper. Casting with a crawler, by the way. Now, late summer is not a time when we hear about a lot of trophy smallmouth bass, but Rod Parsons from Swartz Creek bucked the trend by catching this 22-inch, 5.5-pound smallmouth from Burt Lake in Sheboygan County. He was trolling a shad rap, probably for walleye. And I know this fellow wasn't fishing for pink salmon. Hardly anybody does, especially on the Great Lakes. Harold Gherkinkorn was vacationing here from Marco Island, Florida, trolling in August off Manistee, when his orange and yellow mauler was mauled by this 21-inch, 3-pound, 2-ounce pink salmon. Not the big king he was looking for, but it's a master angler trophy nonetheless. And here's what Harold was really after. From the tail to the nose, it measures 42 inches, a full 34.5 pounds of brute force as Chinook salmon. This one must have been a rod bender for Rod Ketterman, who was vacationing here from Bedford, Pennsylvania. Taken on a fin weaver off Leelanau County in Lake Michigan, this big king will come out near the top of the heap in our 1985 trophy book. And with this 36-inch, 20.5-pound lake trout caught on a zipper a few weeks ago off Ludington, I think we're going to wrap up this week's trophy book by naming Judy Lynn Witter from Beaverton as our Michigan Outdoors Master Angler of the Week.
The DNR Law Division is also on the stump to try and put a stop to poaching through a television campaign, and you can expect to see a number of public service announcements like this one in the very near future.
Poacher. P-O-A-C-H-E-R. Poacher. To plunder. To trespass upon private property. To hunt or fish illegally. To take game or fish by unfair or illegal methods. To cook an egg in boiling water. Poachers are hard-boiled, that's for sure. Call my dad on the DNR hotline. He needs your help to stop poaching. Poachers are rotten eggs.
Don't confuse poachers with hunters, folks. There's very few poachers out there, really, but who take a lot of game because they're still market hunting and doing it illegally on the black market.
And Fred, they are not sportsmen.
Absolutely not.
In any way, shape, or form. Mail bag right here, Fred. Question from Steve Wilhelm from Brant. He says, I read in the September-October issue of the Digest that cover scents were really malarkey because as soon as a deer could smell the cover scent, he could also smell the scent from your hair, boots, etc. But I'm confused. Wouldn't the cover scent travel farther than the scent from your body.
Well, Steve, this is going to be explained in an article in our new digest, which is coming out next week. We'll be sending to you an article by Clark Lincoln, Making Sense of Scents. And here's the gist of it. If a deer can smell the cover scent, your scent is blowing with it. You hit the nail right on the head. The cover scent, unless you put it on extremely strong, isn't going to go any farther because the wind carries your scent, carries it out in a cone towards the deer, up high and around the edges. So if a deer can smell your cover scent, he can smell you because you smell like a meat eater. That's the long and short of it. We'll be talking more about that on future shows. In fact, we're going to have a piece coming up on grouse hunting in just a moment. But first, let's see if you can answer this question in our outdoor quiz.
Automobiles are restricted by federal law to 55 miles an hour on American highways. Can any game animals approach or exceed this speed limit? The pronghorn antelope is the fastest of all the North American game, running full tilt at speeds between 60 and 70 miles per hour. They're not good jumpers, however, and will often travel miles to find a break in a fence line or a depression low enough to slip under.
Right here, you're going to see in the right side of your frame, you can see a little patch of white. This is why the white English setters are popular among grouse hunters. It's difficult to... Now, right up in the right-hand corner, there was a dog's ear and head. Sam is over here, locked in. A brown dog with no white on it is difficult to see in grouse cover. Now, you're going to watch a rabbit pop out to the right in just a second. We didn't know what was in there. We're walking all around saying, what, is the bird gone? There goes a rabbit. Of course, the question is, I said, Tom, were they pointing a rabbit? That's a heck of a thing for a grouse dog. The dog's broke. Look how birdie it is. Look at that. There goes the woodcock.
Get him, Bob? Yep. Good.
Well, our Bob Garner on his first shot of the morning got that woodcock.
Right behind the camera.
You know, that bird was right amongst all of us. We were walking all around it, and it held that tight. That's it, a little woodcock.
Oh, we got something for a recipe right there?
Yeah, it is something for a recipe. You have to be creative on woodcock recipes. They eat worms, you know.
You sure do.
Listening up. I'm going to walk in. Right
There's the
over that
steady
way right
beeping
there. Okay, and then you can widen
on
out.
Sam's
Here
collar.
comes. Did he roll because you stopped him?
This just gives me goosebumps to look at this tape. It's so exciting. You don't know where the bird is going to be.
It should give every grouse hunter goosebumps. Yeah, it's great.
This, honestly, I'm happy with the tape we got on this coming back because it was so difficult to tape. But it still isn't like being there. You know, you can't really see the dogs. There goes. There goes another empty shell back into my pocket.
A good, clean miss,
Good,
Fred.
clean miss. That's right.
You got a lot of those that day.
Yeah, well, okay, Bob, easy. By the end of the day, I got pretty good, though. But look how thick this is. And Dick Best and O.J. of Potniaks hauled the 50, 60 pounds of equipment through the brush for hours.
In fact, we even had batteries in our game bag.
Right. There it is, locked up on point. There's Jack, and that is a beautiful sight. When they lock in like that, you know the bird is there someplace in front of them. They don't often, these dogs don't come up on false points too often. But where is the bird? You know, you're on edge every second. You don't know what's going to pop out behind you, to the right, or the left. Here it goes.
I hit the tree.
A dead tree.
A dead tree, that's right.
I should get a commendation for that.
Well, hopefully you won't hit too many dead trees this fall, and to improve your accuracy, why don't you try going to one of the shoots or one of the workshops coming up on our outdoor calendar. It's flaky. I tell you, these spices on top, Kathy, you have done a delectable job.
Well, thank you. It's good. I like it.
What do you think, Bob?
I'm reserving judgment till I've eaten another couple pounds.
What's the title of this recipe, Kath?
Tarragon buttered salmon, and there's not a whole lot more to it than that.
Let's take a look at how you put this together in the kitchen.
All right. Okay, like I said, there's not a whole lot more. I sauteed just a little bit better than half a stick of butter. Got it going good and hot here.
This will be a sauce, or you're fried in this?
This is going to be just to saute the garlic. Got some chopped garlic, just one clove.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't want that to cook a whole lot. You don't want it overdone, browned. Chopped onion, I used about 1/4 cup. And same with this. You just want to cook it until it's translucent, not real browned. About 2 minutes is all it's going to take.
Looks good already.
Oh, yeah, it does.
cook almost anything in that. Deer liver.
There you go. You can
opening
add
day.
anything to it. Okay, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice.
Out of the bottle?
Out of the bottle this time.
Kathy.
Hey.
It tastes pretty good that
Okay,
way.
here's our tarragon, which gives it the name. Tarragon's kind of a anise flavor, don't you think?
A little bit.
You
I like
taste
the
anise?
flavor of tarragon.
Yeah. A little bit of thyme.
What does thyme do?
Thyme has got a kind of a lemony flavor to it that you don't really notice by itself, but you put it on fish and it just brings out that lemon flavor.
Oh,
Okay, going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
just a little dab.
Just a little dab.
Some pepper, I hope.
Oh, yes, of course. We wouldn't leave out your pepper. Just a dash.
Oh,
See, I'm doing the
Big dash,
pepper
huh?
here, so we've got just a dash.
love it. Okay, when does the fish come in?
There it is. Nice, fresh-looking fillet, too.
Looks like coho.
Yep, probably
nice
is.
orange fillet
Yep.
on
Okay, we're gonna
aluminum foil.
Right, we're going to spoon some of the sauce on top here. Just a couple tablespoons,
Looks
just to make it
good.
look good. Okay. And do a butcher's foil wrap here. You can just wrap it really any way you want.
So
but
you wrap-
This makes it good and tight.
Individual serving.
Right, to keep it, all the juices in. Then you can put it on a cookie sheet or on the grill.
I
Till
think
it
it's
flakes.
excellent.
That's right. I do too. What do you
I
think,
like
Bob?
the tarragon.
Well, we haven't heard from Bob yet.
Is there
Bob's
any,
almost
is
done.
there any left? Keep talking, I'll keep eating.
Simple recipe you call
Tarragon buttered salmon.
tarragon buttered salmon. It's in our new edition of the Outdoor Digest.
Yes, Bob. Look at
Oh
that.
my gosh. Oh my God. Okay, what do you want me to do here?
Just wait, just do it like you did before.
Okay.
This is a monster. This is a nice one here. Look at them out there. Look at them. Look at that. You better put that one on your wall, Bob.
Ooh, look.
I'll get them tired here.
Oh,
I'll get 'em-
jeez, oh. We haven't been on an hour.
Not even an hour. It's usually like this too.
Oh, jeez.
If I can hit the spots just like I was telling you right back
What do you
there.
think, 6.5?
Oh, he's an easy 6.
Is an easy 6?
Yeah. He's skinny. He's pushing 6, but he's a good fighter. That's what he was. He's looks like he got